Alright, so this Naked Truth is going to be a little bit harder to film because I don't know where my tripod mount is, so I'm actually holding my camera in my hand. Man, bad first dates. Anytime somebody brings up a bad first date, I always flash back to this one in my head. I just moved to Chicagoland, and well, I guess just isn't the best term, but I moved to Chicago and broken up with my girlfriend, and Ben was dumped after that, shortly after dating somebody for a while. I tried the same thing. I tried to do online dating because I don't know. I'm not the type of kid that was going out to bars and was going out to clubs and doing all this other crazy stuff. So I wanted something simple. I wanted something very easy. So I signed up for Match.com. I think it was on with OkCupid. Chemistry. I think I even tried. Chemistry. I tried. What were some? Plenty of Fish was another one, the free one. I guess that's pretty big now. I tried all these different sites, and then the one that sticks out the most in my mind was this date from Plenty of Fish. We'd been exchanging messages back and forth. Now my biggest thing is lying. Like I try to be as honest as how tall I was, how big I was, how everything. Like I didn't want this person to be surprised because I didn't want to be that person on the date that was like, oh, you use pictures from many years ago and you totally don't look the way that you do. So I always was very up to date in being honest about my appearance and what I was doing with my life. So I go to this restaurant. I sit down and walks this girl, and she comes over and waves at me, and I'm kind of like, hi, who are, okay. And she sits down and she's like, oh, Colin, it's nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh, you're blah blah blah. And the picture she was using was older by like 5 or 6 years, a long time ago, when you're in your early 20s at that point, because then you're talking teenage years. And so she didn't look anything really similar at all. She was a little bigger, a little heavier on the makeup, a lot more piercings, and that wasn't the part that really bothered me, because I'm like, all right, this is the person that's too ashamed of how they look to actually put it out there. That's fine. But the part that really bothered me was like, oh, it's really hard to find somebody that doesn't do a lot of drugs and doesn't do a lot of drinking. And she's like, oh, no, that's outdated too. I smoke pot quite a bit, and I drink, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, all right, yeah, everyone's kind of into their own thing, so their pictures were a lie, their hobbies were a lie, their pastimes were a lie. I wanted to look past it. I didn't want to just like have that held against them. So what I did was I went out with her another couple of times, and eventually it just fell apart. One of the biggest turn offs for me was she was so disappointed that I wouldn't sleep with her within the first couple of dates. Like she was so like breakdown crying. She's like, why won't you have sex with me? Why? Because I'm like, I just met you. Like I'm not going to just jump at that. Like I don't know anything about you or your past or anything. So yeah, that was pretty awkward. I have caused some bad dates myself. I know I have. There are times where I would get out of a relationship and I'd be looking to fill that void so quickly, and I wanted that emotional, intimate connection that the next person I'd go out on the date with, like I would just come at them so hard and so strong and so emotional, like oh, I'm looking for love, and I want this, and I want this, and I want my partner, I want to marry someone, and you know what I mean. And I would drive them crazy within the first 2 or 3 dates. So your question was definitely an interesting reflection on, yeah, I've had that one really bad date, but then I've caused some pretty bad dates on my own. So, you know, 10 years later, you can kind of look back and laugh and be like, oh boy, what was I doing? What was going through my mind? So, hopefully, I can get my tripod back and I can film this without holding the camera. So, have a good week.